I'm Carol Weiss. I'm a professor in the psychology department, but I'm also director of health professions. I'm primarily working with students who are science majors who want to go on into a health profession. They tend to see the world as black and white, and there are answers to an organic chemistry question. And what this project did was to introduce them to the fact that, through the arts, there's uncertainty, things unfold, things aren't always the way they seem, which is a good perspective to have if you're going on into a health profession. I came up with the idea because I am like a lot of my pre-med students and was a scientist and very rigid in my thinking, and that changed when I myself took a ceramics class. And I sat in a studio and tried to find the answers, and there weren't any answers. And I had to experience it, and I had to deal with failure. And it was a good experience for me, and I thought it would be a good experience for the students as well. And it seemed very much like a patient-practitioner relationship between a person and the clay. I wanted to get the students into a ceramics studio, and the reason is to get them working in clay for not only the tactile and sensory stimulation that it would give them, but the relationship between a potter and clay is very much like a physician and a patient. It responds or it doesn't respond. You like it or maybe you don't like it, and maybe it flops over, it falls apart. And so, to bring students into a studio where they're making something with their hands. Now, I want to preface this with, this is a special group of students that I wanted to bring into the studio because they would be at the bedside of terminally ill residents for an 8-week immersion program. So the students sign up to do this service, and I'm trying to prepare them for really difficult work. And the fact that they'll be touching another human being in sometimes very intimate and sensitive ways. So let's start with clay. And if you're going to have some problem with that, you're probably not going to be a good candidate for going further than that. The students are a collection of, some want to be doctors, some want to be nurse practitioners or PAs, some don't know what they want to be, but they're thinking about a health profession. They were excited. I mean, it was fun. They didn't know what to expect. I had taken a class and I had learned about this 16th century Japanese raku firing technique and thought, this would be a really good team building experience, and I wanted to hire a potter because I'm not the potter and I don't know how to do this. My role was more as helping the students to experience this. As a physician with a terminally ill patient, you set an empty cup between you and them, for them to fill. You don't go in with your expectations, your ideas, your beliefs about who the patient is, what they want, what they need. You let them fill that cup. So I thought we should make a cup in the ceramic studio and do this firing as a team building and as an intention so that they could have the cup that they make, and when it comes out, they're going to put it on their shelf, and every day they're going to look at this cup and say, am I empty, in front of that patient? So then they enter into the studio. I blindfold them. I want to make things really scary for them because the students don't like uncertainty. And so you blindfold them and you put a lump of clay in front of them and you have them make their first cup. And then they take the blindfold off, and then we deal with what they think. Well, I don't like it, this is ugly, mine didn't come out the way, oh, yours is better, all this conversation happens. And I'm like, well, think about that self-criticism, reflect on what you're doing. We're making a cup, and you're already being very judgmental. Let's make a second one with your eyes open, and what's the difference? So they make a second cup. So they have this sort of process by which they're doing a little giggling, but they're also intently thinking about, what do I want? And why do I want that? I would love to be able to just continue these types of experiences for students, where they have an opportunity to go outside of their comfort zone, express themselves artistically, but then to use it as a tool for reflection. So that's why the quote and them thinking about being empty and crystal and clean, and if they come to the bedside of a dying person with their own baggage, that means their cup is filled, and then they can't be there for that person. And our students are really, they're busy, they look at their phones, they're always stimulating themselves, and I'm trying to get them to be quiet and to be present. And this is sort of a ritual that helps to center them to do that.